All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Always Race Day podcast. I'm Connor Ferguson here with Eric Bridger. We're going to get to a little bit of everything today. A couple of guys, Rico Abreu and Devin Moran, won their first ever National Tour Championships in the same weekend. Probably the first time that's happened since I started covering the sport, especially in the same year with a sprint car driver and a late model guy, and obviously having two national sprint car tours now. So super cool that we're going to talk about that. Spencer Bayston joins the show. We got an interview with him. It was pre-recorded, so it's lined up in the back of this video. Just know, I can't see your comments, but feel free, comment any other time during the show. If we see it on here, we will get to it. And we'll do some silly season stuff on both sides of things. So real quick, I should give a shout out to Chris Weiser and the Weiser companies. I know he was thrilled with Rico Abreu's win. He is also a sponsor on Rico's car, so very excited to see the number 24 walk it off with a victory this week. So, Chris, hope you're happy. Thank you again for partnering with us. Really appreciate it, and can't wait for you guys to see what he's got cooking for 2026 and beyond. So, really excited. Let's get to it. If I can figure out which video I'm supposed to click on here. It is that one. See, I've never been the fastest, but eventually I do figure it out pretty well. So you can get away with it playing hockey your whole life. Not so much racing. Eric, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good. We made the trip out to LaSalle, Illinois for the Outlaw race, and got checked into our hotel room, tried to go get a quick bite to eat, and got the email notification that they canceled at 4:30 when they probably could have canceled at like 2:30 or 2 o'clock, given their reasons for cancellation. They quoted for funnel clouds and 100% chance of rain at night, and it's just like, well, the funnel clouds happened at like 2:30, and and then the rain didn't really show up to around 8 o'clock. So I mean, they probably would have got some rain throughout the night, but so a nice little 8-hour drive back and forth total for looking at the racetrack for a couple minutes that we could before we got kicked out. So fun times.
Would you like to poo-poo the Outlaws, or do you want to leave that to me?
You want to save that for later, or you want me to just go right at it?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna leave it up to you. What do you think?
Make it save for later when we talk about the Outlaws.
I like that. I like that a lot. Because I'm gonna bounce around on this fucking sheet. God dang it! I'm not supposed to cuss in the first 5 minutes. Okay, hopefully they didn't notice that one. Anyways, yeah, I do my best. Thank you guys for tuning in. Rico Abreu, with probably the biggest news of not news, but definitely the biggest story for sure. Him and Moran. On the late model side, and we'll try to group it sprint cars and late models. But really impressive week from Rico. I've seen, different guys go into the final weekends of the year. We've seen David Gravel go up against Brad Sweet, not be able to close it out at Charlotte with that. I think they had a chassis get twisted or bent a little bit that year. That was the last real close title race we saw on the sprint car side. And Rico went into this week, I think, with I'm going to try how to present the high limit point structure that goes down by 5 from first to second, then down by 3, then down by 2 through the field. He had about a 10 to 12, 13 spot lead on Aaron Reitzel on the owner's side and Brad Sweet on the driver's side going into the week. Did he win 3 or 2?
This weekend?
Yeah. He didn't win the midweek Monday race, right?
I think he won 2. I was just looking it up, actually.
It blends together. I do know he won on Saturday and won the final race of the season for high limit down in Texas. So that was super cool to see. That's Rico Abreu's a Chili Bowl champion. He's done a lot of cool things in his career. He's finished second at the Knoxville Nationals. but he didn't have a, national touring sprint car championship. He didn't, there's not really regional sprint car tours out there that he's ran. So this was it was his second attempt at getting one, and he went out and got one this weekend. So really cool to see out of that. How does this affect Rico's legacy?
Well, winning a national sprint car title, whether that's high limits or outlaws, is tough to do. You see guys like Donnie and Brad and now David dominating, so it's very hard to dethrone a champion from sprint car racing, because usually when you have it, you have it. It just adds. It's a pretty big step up for Rico. He's won at Knoxville, he's won at Eldora, he's won the Chili Bowl twice. I mean, it's got to be up there with some of those Chili Bowl victories. It's not the Knoxville Nationals. That's probably the number one on his list type of deal now. Probably the Eldora Kings Royal as well too. Yeah, I mean, it's something that you cherish a lot, and it's something that it's hard to accomplish and have a season like he did. And it's pretty cool to see him also win the last race of the year and also win the championship. You have double the celebration almost. Oh yeah.
Jojo, how are you? Good evening to you too, man. Appreciate you tuning in. I think like every show he's commented
every
like
show
2 shows in a row.
Yeah.
I've been watching for a while, so I appreciate it, man.
If we could get the number one fan badge, you got it, Jojo.
Oh yeah, no, he's got it at this point. I have people that owe me favors that they can get it back if they get those done. We'll see. Ace, I'm looking at you. Need info, buddy. We're out of info. We're gonna give the public all the silly season info tonight. So, no, yeah, what like you said about Rico's Chili Bowls, the high limit title pays just a teensy weensy bit more than those old time Chili Bowls do. I think by $240,000.
Yeah, $250,000. Like he took home the championship. Plus, I think the race probably paid 12 or 15 grand. It might have paid more since it was the last race of the year, but yeah, definitely a nice little bonus for the team. And it's gonna be interesting to see. On off season, do you see some stuff for sale, or do they just kind of park what they have and move over to the TSR shop and take some stuff home to California? Yeah, it's a pretty good payday. I mean, especially have the banquet the next day. It's a good weekend to celebrate.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to say this. I haven't talked to anyone about this. How about Tony Stewart in this off season? Where there's so many drivers available, so many seats, not really a ton of crew chiefs growing on trees or anything. And Tony Stewart goes and gets a national tour winner with longtime crew chief that has the most accomplished crew chief by far that was on the market. And
that's circle back to TSR.
Yeah, while he's wanting to be a hands-off owner of a guy who runs his own team, could not have worked out better for Tony Stewart. And it's rich get richer, but it's, man, like that's a stroke of luck if I've ever seen one. Perfect time for that move to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. As I get to biggest news, as we're mounting to that, Brad Sweet on Sunday at the High Limit Banquet announced that he's going to retire from full-time sprint car racing. And we will talk about Brad let's do Brad first. Chopping it up. Brad isn't full-time anymore. I tweeted that he's been at the forefront of the sport since I started covering it. I don't think we're going to miss him because I think he's still going to be there right at the forefront, right at racetracks, working high limit. And he's got the NARC series now with Silver Dollar Speedway as well. And all the, eggs in different baskets, but stuff, business ventures that he's got going. But it's crazy to, see his full-time career come to an end. 6 championships. You talk about like the guys that I've watched in my lifetime do that. It's like Steve Kinzer, Donnie Schatz. I didn't really watch a ton of the John Force ones, but Scott Dixon and Tom Mentz. maximum destruction monster truck driver. How about that? Sneak that in. That's about it. Like those are the guys, and whether they got, I guess Jimmy Johnson would also be included on that list. But whether you get to that special number in racing that is 7, which I think is a bit arbitrary at times. Just what a cool career to see out of the Big Cat.
Yeah. I think we talked about it here in a couple podcasts before, with the purchase of the Knock 410 West Coast California Series was kind of about the writing on the wall. And also too, you go back this summer, they weren't very fast at times, and with the whole Knoxville debacle and Casey and Brad not really having any patience for mistakes, and it felt like Casey really wanted to put some time and effort and all they could to maybe get that one final championship for Brad. It's you kind of look back and you kind of see what's happened in this year. It's kind of was a writing on the wall that this is probably the last effort to get that 7th championship. And unfortunately they fell a little bit short. But yeah, I mean, a guy that won a Kings Royal, won a Knoxville Nationals, and I think that was in the same year. And he was definitely took advantage of the time that he was super fast, and he didn't miss out on that Nationals or that Kings Royal, because, not saying that he won't win it again, it's just that his chances to win it again are kind of hard, because it seems like the guy that's usually fastest in the year usually wins the Nationals or the Kings Royal. And plus being a 5 in a row outlaw champion, I mean, to have very little DNFs to running consistently to staying up with changes, whether that's tires, motors, whatever, and then plus, having the inaugural first season of high limit champion, that's a pretty good run in I'll call it like a 7-8 year stretch of full-time sprint car racing. So that's a pretty dominant ass kicking, and something that you just don't see too much.
Yeah, and like you said, that 2018 year was him taking the crown from Schatz, and the guy that I always compared to Kansas basketball. Like, you can't pick against them until they lost a Big 12 regular season. In that, grand scheme of things, that trophy didn't really mean anything. Well, shoot, I mean, year-long trophies in sprint car racing didn't mean as much as they did 7 years ago, because the same guy won it every year. It was like, we're looking at the majors. We're going to look at who wins this race, who wins that one. And Donnie Schatz won a lot of those at the same time. And Brad kind of, took the reins of the sport. And I think since then, we've seen Kyle Larson dominate a little bit on those crown jewels. But even now, like, this year was absolutely crazy for, I think so it was Hodenshield, Ryan Timms, Anthony Macri. And that's just on the Outlaws. Remind me who won Gold Cup?
Joel 19 car.
No, that was Trophy Cup this weekend. But
yeah,
now we've got that in there.
Yep,
we mentioned that. Yep. I might bring that up in a bit too. But and I do need to get my list figured out so I can rank the major events and then demote them when they piss me off. That's my resolution for 2026. Wish it was 2016. What a magical year. Anyways, on the Brad Sweet retiring thing, Casey Kane Racing, and it's least kept secret. Those on our Patreon knew this a few weeks ago. Dason Pursley will be the driver over there next season. I'm comfortable saying that. I believe Napa is sticking around and sponsoring that car. Though I've not confirmed that yet, so I don't want to officially, report that. However you want to view it, I'm just giving you guys as open of a answer as I can. As for the crew chief, they did reach out to Anthony Macri's crew chief and Joe Mooney. No dice there. He's not going to join KKR in their search for a crew chief. I was told is waiting for after the finale weekend. So right now, essentially. And I'll have an update for you guys as soon as I can. No promises on when that will be, but at some point we'll get an update for that. But it was interesting. I think Stenhouse Jr. I think Stenhouse wanted Dason Pursley. I think a few people wanted Dason Pursley. And there was rumblings that he was going to stick with the car he's in now in the Buick Motorsports number 13. There's rumblings that he could end up in that 17 car that Spencer Bayston will be in now. And obviously now it is looking like he's definitely going to KKR. Eric, you haven't been able to comment on this publicly, so.
Yeah, it's something that's been obviously talked about, and I think that's been talked about for about a month or so, it feels like. There's been rumblings about, Brad's future, and I think that's been a plan in place for a little bit. So Pursley looking like to be the next KKR driver. I think that probably had a lot of input between Brad and Casey, who the next driver is going to be. I've always heard that, Casey was always going to do the sprint car deal until Brad wanted to, and then they were done. That must not be the case with Napa if Napa's coming back. Now I'm sure Napa probably has a little bit of say in who they want to, because it's their driver that's representing a pretty large company. Not saying that Pursley,
one that isn't used to getting second. By the way.
Yeah, that's true too.
Not that Napa's going to say like we're going to pull our money if you don't win the championship, but I mean,
I'm sure their paychecks are to KKR aren't cheap. That's gonna be interesting to see too. And even with the Brad being the part-time deal, I'm guessing that will be to the 9 car, and I'm guessing him and Casey will probably split the ride or do some races that they want to do in, or I don't know, maybe Casey's done for. I don't know. It's interesting move. Definitely adds another seat to the merry-go-round of sprint car drivers changing seats or changing roles, and whether that's drivers, crew chiefs, and all that. But I'm kind of interested to see what happens. Pursley seemed like he was really fast the first time he got into the 13 car. I'm guessing that, since the KKR car is in Charlotte, I wouldn't be surprised if Pursley is in the 49 car for the World Finals to get a jump start to next year. But be curious to see how that kind of gels into next year.
What number do you want to see them run
for Casey and Brad?
Vice versa, right? Dason doesn't really have any numbers assigned to him.
I'm guessing it's going to be the 49 car, because there's always been 49, 9, and 91, and for the KKR cars. So
what was 91?
91 was. It's been a while since they ran it. Cody Dara ran the 4 car when he had sponsorship
from Red Bull, right?
No, that was SurePoint and some other sponsors. Red Bull was on Joey Saldana's car, the 9 car, when Casey ran it in the Cup Series. And 91, I feel like it was Casey's car when he ran it a couple times in sprint cars, but I can't remember.
I was going to say, you said 91. I'm like, Tyler Sagan's playing tonight, but that's definitely the wrong sport.
I'm kind of curious now, but I'm guessing they'll probably stick with the 49, and the 9 car will be between split Casey and Brad. But I don't know, maybe I'll change directly back to the 9 car. You don't want to see him.
You don't want to see him one up the 57W, the W car Spencer was in, and just go with the KK.
I think it'd be kind of cool if.
Don't say it would be kind of cool if every car had letters. We don't need that. It's already confusing enough when I watch Australia races and half the cars have countries next to them.
Yeah, it's going to be. I don't think you'll have a 49 DP. I don't think this can be a good name to mix.
Oh, that'd be good. I might have to drop that in the text message form.
I don't think they're going to have the 49 DP.
If anything happens, you can have Darren Pittman drive it too, and then there it goes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, actually, you said the DP number 9 hats for a sale. Poor guy.
Man, we are some good marketers over here.
I guess there's been the 19 sprint car back when I think that's when Jason Johnson drove it. Maybe a little Craig Delansky, I think it was.
Probably because did it run like around the same time Casey was in the 9 car?
That's when they had the Track TV. Well, Joey Saldana drove the Budweiser car. but then Joey got hurt one of those years in the Budweiser car, and I think Brad Sweet drove that car as a relief driver.
It's all flowing in my head. I was giving Casey. I still
If
need
we
to
can
give
bring,
Casey.
if we can bring a car back, I would love to see a Budweiser 9 car out there, 49, whatever.
Oh man, I've asked him to do that throwback every year since I've first talked to Casey Kane. I mean, that's the second question I asked you. I asked him was, would you ever do the Budweiser throwback? And he's like, maybe.
If Dale can run the Budweiser throwback, I'm sure Casey can.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. No, it's super. I still need to give Casey shit. That's what I was going to say, because I was looking at diecasts during Nationals, and the nameplate, the font or autograph that was used, and it changed from font autograph. I probably looked at, I think he was only in like that specific car for 4 years with a few different paint schemes. Every single one was different. I'm like, I counted like 6 of them. What were you guys doing?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to ask him about that yet. So I need to give him shit. Somebody remind me.
Paul McMahon drove the 91 car. I think that was 1 year during the Outlaw Tour. So
it is famous.
Yep.
So it's a legend right there.
But that was probably about 10 to 13 years ago.
Gotcha. Are you good on KKR?
Yeah, we can move on.
All right. Spencer Bayston racing for Stenhouse Jr. And Richard Marshall. And I kept like tricking my head. I was like, I didn't want to say Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Richard Marshall. So I just said Marshall. And then I watched some of it back already. I'm like, what am I thinking? So if you hear that, my bad, Richard. But yeah, give me your thoughts. Eric, Mike. Jesus. All right. I got to check on this cat. He's asking for water. Yeah. Give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on Bayston going to the SJM 17 car next year. With NOS Energy Drink will be back as a sponsor for that car as well.
Good to know. With them being back with NOS, it's definitely interesting to see. I mean, from a guy that got let go of his ride in the middle of the season, usually sometimes you don't see people rebound back to driving in a full-time outlaw ride. But sounds like they're going to have some different crew chief. They got their crew chief lined up with Logan Schuhart's old crew chief. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they gel. Definitely the car's been fast the last couple of weeks and won some big races. So I think the biggest question is, do you get a Spencer Bayston in the 14 car type of year, or do you get a Spencer Bayston with a Paul Silva turning the wrenches type of year? Is he going to be really fast like he was, for those couple of weeks, or is he going to struggle like he did pretty much the whole year of 2025?
Yeah, and like I said this in the interview too, and I specifically said I'm not trying to stroke Spencer's ego, but he's a faster guy than what he was in the 14 car. And I every time it came up tonight, Eric, I'm blaming you, but it's definitely my fault. I wanted to say CJB, and I knew it was.
I know, that's my bad.
No, you're.
I had that stuck in my head the whole time last week about it.
No, so like he's a faster driver than that. That's when you throw crap at the wall and nothing sticks. I think I tweeted in July, I could break my other leg and still have more good luck this year than Spencer Bayston's had, which remains, well, not anymore, I guess. Doesn't really remain true anymore. Yeah. And he did kind of have a prove it month or two with the W car, which is still weird to say, and the Tarleton 21, and got second in the Trophy Cup this weekend. And now he'll be at the World Finals in a first Stenhouse Jr. Marshall Racing 17 car, as will Ricky Thornton Jr. He's going to run that with the Indy Race Part 71 or 20 RT slapped over the number 7, which I love. I absolutely love that when they did it, and I can't wait to see it again. But yeah, no, I talked myself into a wall. And I forgot where I was at.
Is Bayston running the second car for World Finals?
Yes. That will be at World Finals. He'll get a start on his year with Kyle Pruitt. We talked about that. at length too. So I'm excited for you guys to listen to that one. There's a lot of good info in it. So,
Yeah.
as far as silly season stuff, last thing is I don't know what CJB Motorsports is going to do next year. I believe if they end up not running high limit, that's a charter for sale. And I think that Spire team with Gio Selzy and those Patreon members have heard this too. But that's definitely an option for them to buy into high limit and take up that charter, which, I guess you need. You don't need it to run high limit, but it certainly helps you if the system works the way it is described. And there's still a lot of uncertainties with the system. We're going to try to get Brad on here in the coming weeks or month to explain. I just want to have him on where we can talk about his career and then also the charter system, and so that make sure he has that ready and all that. So obviously there's a lot of question marks on it, but we'll see how that goes. Let's see here. Sheldon Hodenshield got the win on Sunday with the Outlaws. This is the Outlaws portion of the show. So he had a big quote. We posted it about finishing the year out strong and not quitting and not, mailing it in with the 17 car. And him and Kyle Pruitt working together get a win right off the bat, very early, also very late. I thought that was pretty interesting. And then David Gravel at Lincoln Park the day before the race Eric was supposed to go to. He beat Buddy Kofoid last lap pass, spun out Buddy, and I thought both guys reacted to it as classy as I hate the word classy, and I'm rambling now, so I apologize on both fronts. But I thought both guys said exactly the right things, and every comment still was like, that guy's been such a pussy since he got in a fight with Kyle Larson. Screw him. So Gravel is a villain now. I'll declare it if that needed declared.
Yeah. Starting off on Friday night, I really don't know what Gravel's plan was to go in the final corner.
What do you mean? He won the race.
Well, that
was his plan.
He just wanted to squeeze Buddy enough to where he hits the cushion and then he spins out or wrecks or whatever, since the cushion was 6 feet, or not 6 feet, but 3 feet tall. Probably more, it might have been more tall by then, but yeah, I mean, he knew he was there. He was side by side with him.
I thought his setup to it was unideal.
Well, the farthest ahead he ever was maybe to the back of his motor plate. And that wasn't very far ahead, not enough to do a slider. It's kind of like a lazy slider, or just kind of something I'm not going to give you any room, so you're just going to have to hit the cushion or let off the gas or do something, or you're going to wreck or something like that. I don't know. I didn't like it. I think both drivers handled it the best they probably could. Gravel just saying Gravel what he can, and Buddy just being professional about it and not losing his cool over it. I think the biggest thing for Buddy was that he lost a lot of spots in the points. I don't think it really will matter so much, but still, I mean, he took away a pretty good finish.
If you were tied, you make a way bigger deal out of that.
Or if he gets it close to World Finals or something like that, Gravel has a bad weekend.
Yeah. I just think he's so far out that was exactly the right thing to do too.
Yeah. I mean, going on Saturday night, weather was definitely a factor all night. We already had a ticket spot in the hotel book, so we decided to go out there and see what happens. We expected to get a rain out notification at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock. And we didn't. So we got to our hotel, checked in, and grabbed a bite to eat. And while grabbing a bite to eat, we got the cancel notification that the Outlaws decided to cancel the show. So I don't know if that was a promoter's decision or Outlaws decision, but the reasoning of the funnel clouds, I mean, there was a special weather statement for some cold air funnel clouds, but that was at 2 o'clock. mean, there's race teams sitting at the racetrack already, and then their reasoning of having a 100% chance of rain for the night. It's just like, well, that was happening like 48 hours in advance. So you instead just made a bunch of race fans, and we even went to go see the racetrack after we ate just to see what it looks like. And there were still probably like, while we were there for like 5 or 10 minutes, there was probably still like 10 or 15 vehicles coming into the racetrack because they probably already left already and didn't know it was canceled. So, I mean, instead, you just made the race fans waste their money to think they're going to go see a half of a show or a partial of a show or even a full show if they rush through it. So it's just, I don't know. It's 2025. Like, we have the technology, we have the communication. Like, why are we waiting until 4:30 to make that type of decision? You're just wasting race fans' time on, spending their money to go see a show or go see a racetrack they've never seen before. So it's just the bad move overall. Whoever decision was, it was piss poorly made, and you should have. It just was not a very good decision for overall for the people, race teams, whether that's the outlaws or sport classes or for the racetrack, and even for the food vendors. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 food trucks that were there, and they probably just wasted a bunch of food because it's just horrible.
That's as spicy as Eric's ever going to get.
Yeah.
I promise you guys. And it's like, I didn't want to follow that up with a hell yeah. But I did want to acknowledge that. The weather forecast not forecast per se, but the weather wasn't getting worse as the cancellation happened. It was steadily how it was all day.
It was going to be 100% chance no matter what. And that was going to look like around 8 o'clock the day of. So you either have the choice to make. Do you think you can get the show in 2 hours? Or do you not think you're going to get the show in? You don't think you get the show in, cancel it at 2 o'clock. Save some people some money. Like, we would have turned around and went home. And I'm sure people wouldn't even left their houses if they lived close by to go to the racetrack. I mean, there's probably 30 to 40 cars sitting there tailgating or sitting around, looking at things. And and it didn't rain until like 8 o'clock. I mean, I don't know. It's just like, it's like a sitting on their feet and deciding at the last minute, we don't want to race. Sure.
Yeah, and I don't get that, especially late in the year, where all these shows, and this is kind of happens early in the year too, where it's like the forecast looks like crap. They're just not. It's March 25th. We're gonna scrap it. And like I've had a couple of these nights where like I just come down to Burlington or something, and I think it was with Josh Betts, and I'm texting my friends at the track, hey, what do you think? What are you hearing? Like, give me something. Like, I'm 3 hours away, about to pass the last interstate where it makes economical sense to hitch a right and go back towards Des Moines or keep going south. And I think every single time almost like they canceled it, earlier in the day. And when my friends knew, like, it was out in 5 minutes. And I'm not saying that like they knew and like sat on it. There's no positive. There's no reason for them to do that. But it's like, if the forecast is that bad and you're not going to give it a go, I'd cancel it. Like I'm all for, the driver safety and stuff, but there needs to be a cutoff time of like 2:30. And it's like, if it gets past 2:30 and we haven't canceled, we're going to try, I don't know. Maybe that's a good not compromise. I'm using all the wrong words on this explanation of this, but there needs to be a cutoff time to where it's like, I know that they're at least going to try to run some races tonight, and we'll see how far they get. And if they don't get it, they don't get it. But at least you tried, and then you don't have Eric mad and all the fans mad because you waited till 4:30 and then said, we're not even going to put cars out there. Screw it. Mm-hmm. So sorry that happened. That sucks. Let's talk about the Fender Rocket cars, though. Devin Moran, who's going to have a baby girl, just announced that. What a week for him. Wins the Lucas Dirt title, his first career, after 2 years of finishing runner-up in a row on Saturday. And now he's going to have a kid. So pretty take TCOB week for the 99 team. And very cool to see him get it done at Eldora.
Yeah, and also have the big kahunas of hugging the Eldora girl with your wife present right by after you win the championship. So
I can't believe how many people thought that was. Oh man, the jokes that go over people's head. It's funny.
Yeah.
So Ricky Thornton Jr. had trouble in that race, caught a lot of damage, just got into the wall. Once it was a little off, it was, boom, easier to hit the wall, and then he did. What was weird is Eric. RTJ was in the work area. They were working on the car. He starts to pull away. The flow broadcasters are saying that his dad's like motioning him to something or telling him to stop. He gets back on the track as pace laps are still going, makes half a lap, and then comes right back down to the pit area. And I don't think it was 15 seconds after he got back that they went green and effectively just ended his chance at racing for a championship. Now, if you want my like actual case by case stupid Connor rules, I'm waiting my ass off to see if they can get it back out there. I want the guys settling it on the track.
Especially having a gimmick format like they have for the Championship 4.
Hey, Big River Steel put a lot of money in drivers' pockets to do this. They are paying them to be the circus animals in this little circus. And I know the drivers do appreciate that. I did want to say this, talking about if this format is the right way to settle it. 2 questions. Does there need to be more bonus points so that the regular season champ starts with a bigger lead? And number 2 is, did you realize that RTJ, yes, he had the second most wins. He led the series in top 5s, and he also had the best average finish.
I mean,
if we're talking season-long points where all the positions are equal, the average finish is that's that stat.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for how they have their format, I don't think you really need to put the leader ahead. I mean, it's 4 races for a championship.
You want a bigger gimmick of the format? You want them tied?
I don't know. You can.
Wow, Eric. Man against the people.
I don't know. I have a hard time with just how they have it now. So I mean, they can do whatever they want.
I love it.
I'm not the one that writes the checks.
That's Big River Steel.
Yeah.
So they're moving the finale to West Virginia.
You go buy some steel then?
I'm not a steel buyer.
Oh, okay.
If they sponsored us, like I'd give them some money back, get some steel. Do you need some steel?
I don't need some steel.
Okay, I'll talk to them. We'll see if we can work something out. It'll be a fun little back and forth. I don't know who I'd give the steel to though.
I don't know.
I can't think of anybody that needs steel that I know personally. We're gonna have to brainstorm on this, Eric. Maybe we'll give it to a lucky fan.
There you go, give them away.
Yeah, we got to get this deal done for Big River Steel. Hit me up if you see this.
Right now, it's looking like JoJo's gonna get the steel.
Yeah, that's probably who would get it. If I couldn't find anyone else, I'd figure out JoJo's address. So they're gonna move the finale next year, the Dirt Track World Championship, which I just think is confusing. We call it finale, but I get it. It's a marquee event. Okay, yeah.
While you have a World 100 race.
Yeah, the same like everything as the World 100, except for the format that sucks ass to get to the World 100, which actually to me makes it way more of a bigger deal.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to promote and demote my major events, so they're gonna move it to West Virginia Motor Speedway short track to close the season out. Is this a bigger gimmick or less? Do you think? Because now that's Eric's word. I'm not using that, everybody.
I mean, I think it's nice that they're changing the racetracks. It sounds like that racetrack is putting a lot of time and effort in to come back to be a nice facility. I think they host a outlaw race next year.
I think you are
late model outlaw race.
I believe so, because they announced that in Mansfield like near the same time.
Yeah. So they I don't know, it's kind of weird to not have your race at a big venue like Eldora is for championship. I mean, the Outlaws have Charlotte, and they've worked very hard to make it a big event. And I think they still got some work to do, but they definitely sell the grandstands. When you think about championship destination, I don't really think you think of West Virginia, but maybe that's just me not knowing the late model stuff too much.
That's you thinking of like Big 12 West Virginia. You need to think like Big East West Virginia, where like Take Me Home Country Roads was real big deal.
We go from Eldora to West Virginia Speedway.
Yeah. They could go to Knoxville.
In front of
October 17th.
250 people.
There's a decent crowd at Late Model Nationals this year. I can't wait for next season at Knoxville. There's some cool stuff coming. Sneak peek for you guys that listen to the Asphalt Show. We're gonna have Ryan Vargas on. He's a NASCAR Xfinity Series driver that drove the El Toro Loco monster truck over the weekend and won on Friday night. So any excuse I can talk to a Monster Jam driver, we're gonna take it. So excited for that. Couple of other things on the late model side. Bobby Pierce won that race, so his girlfriend helped design that pink car, pink and green flames, and everyone told him it was bad luck. So not bad luck. Got in victory lane finally. He probably mentioned that in his interview. I didn't watch it with sound, so my bad.
Probably made a couple of TikToks.
Did he?
I don't know. Maybe he did.
Dalton Wilson has departed JRR Motorsports. Josh Rice is hopping in that car, that 18 car. I don't know if the number is going to stay the same. These late model folk always end up changing it and just confusing everybody, which I hate. Let's get the team some numbers for a change. And Garrett Alberson is going to be back on the Lucas Dirt Tour next season. He's going to race the Dome and the Wild West Shootout. Some other guys' names have been on those entry lists as well. As those events get closer, we'll start saying them on here, I suppose. But some cool stuff in the off season. I think we're going to have a video with Garrett at some point over the next couple months here. Their shop's, I think, near Davenport, Iowa. So be on the lookout for that. I won't say what it is yet. I don't want to spoil the surprise of what we have planned, but if I can make all the bullshit work, it will be a cool series for us to do. So, Eric, you got anything else?
There's no real rest for the late model guys. They got championship races, and then they got the Dome and the Wild West Shootout. So
what's more demanding, the current state of late model scheduling, where you're just on the road basically every weekend of the year, or the sprint car guys that are here through November 4th that turn around and go straight to Australia? And I guess they have like a month off, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I answered it myself.
Yeah.
Unless you want to say that the sprint car one's more demanding.
Well, if you don't follow the tour religiously, because Lucas does have some breaks, and so does Outlaws. I mean, which I think most of the late model drivers do. It's the late model guys.
All of them on their off weekends just go find other places to race.
That's what I'm saying. They don't follow the tour religiously. I don't think there's a driver that does. Okay. Yeah, and they kind of do a little bit old school. They still have bunkhouses in their haulers where the Outlaw guys go find hotel rooms. So, and find other stuff that happened at the racetrack. We can't talk about that.
All right. I won't push you. Not this week. Not with what the Outlaws did to you.
No.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Without further ado, I will throw it over to Spencer Bayston, and I'm going to try to do it seamlessly. We'll see if it works. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Thank you for stopping by and watching. All right, guys, we now welcome on a very special guest on the ARD podcast here, the 2017 USAC Midget National Champion, and no longer one of the hottest names in free agents in sprint car racing. It's Spencer Bayston. Hey, man, thank you for taking the time to come on here.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
For sure. We'll get right into the big news of the week, I guess. But you signed with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And the Marshalls in that NOS Energy Drink number 17 team to run the World of Outlaws next year. To get the deal done and to get it done with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Take me through kind of what went into that and how it feels.
Well, to start with, it feels awesome just to know not having to go in the winter, trying to figure out, what does next year look like. I've known the Marshall family and Ricky as well for a long time, kind of dating back to the midget days, racing with the Clausen family, meeting them there. So kind of comes full circle that we get to work together, go on the Outlaw Tour, feel honored, obviously, to receive the call from them and be considered. What they've done these last 8 years with Sheldon has been obviously very impressive and winning a lot of races, but they decided it was time to make a change, and just feel really special that they obviously considered me for that opportunity, and has me really motivated and excited to try to carry on what they've been able to accomplish over these last handful of years, and try to keep that ball rolling.
So I want to get into your entire 2025 season, but take me through kind of like the last 3-4-ish weeks with who was calling you. You don't got to name names, it's obviously up to you. But how many phone calls from different teams did you field, and what was it like, kind of searching for a ride to be in for next season?
It was an odd feeling leaving Knoxville on Sunday, obviously, just with parting ways and going back to the house and kind of not knowing when we'd be leaving again. But fairly quickly, to getting home, and even on the way home, talking on the phone with a couple different groups about just what plans were, and what the end of the season looked like and what next season looked like. So was able to navigate that process well. I would think it's easy to say that now, having looked back at our results the last handful of weeks. So yeah, it was kind of a calm but then also busy time of just figuring out what does our future look like in the racing world. So definitely fortunate, very thankful that Paul Silva and Kevin Kozlowski picked us up, right away, first week out, to be able to go run those high limit races, and then make a trip back out there with the Tarleton group short after to just kind of stay fresh and put up some good runs.
And you did kind of a unique thing with that, and knowing that you were departing that team, Jason Meyer Racing. I don't know why I couldn't put that in my head just now, but you put a lot of your merchandise on sale for really affordable prices for fans. I don't think I've seen too many drivers, especially on the national level, do that in recent years. How'd that go for you? Did that help you out at all? And what was the fan feedback kind of like with that?
Well, the overwhelming support that we got when the news broke, obviously the end of kind of that Knoxville week, was very powerful, and was very nice to receive from the fans. We priced everything at cost of what we bought everything for, to essentially get our money back. Starting there on Friday afternoon, when we priced everything down, didn't really make any money, just was able to recoup obviously our cost and inventory that we had, because we had a trailer that was stocked to finish the season. And obviously plans change, but fortunately we kind of adapted and were able to clean out a good amount of our trailer there in Knoxville. And then the following weeks was nuts, just taking loads of clothing to the post office to ship out to all of our customers that decided to get on there and support us and help us out. And especially not knowing what your end of the season looked like. This is how we make a living. It's how we make our money. So to be able to kind of recoup some of that inventory costs back and be able to empty out our trailer was definitely a sigh of relief. You hear horror stories of teams splitting and drivers going home with a lot of merchandise that they're not able to get rid of. So just took the opportunity there to be able to clean house and start fresh.
For sure. And then, like you talked about, going out west with Paul Silva and Kevin Kozlowski, and also the Tarleton 21 car. I think you went quick time your first night out, and it's easy for anyone to just point and go Paul Silva. And you kind of like, since that moment, kept backing it up. I think you finished outside the top 10 maybe once. What was that run like? I call it a run, but I know it's more so an example of how talented you are and how quick you can be when given the right situation. But to put those results in after the year that you had, what was it like to get those?
Well, looking at it now, it's like, man, that kind of was a turning point a little bit just to save our season to a certain point. Paul's obviously, Paul's very talented, very knowledgeable, has always put a great car on the racetrack. So went and unloaded quick, and I just went out and drove like I know how to drive, and we were able to put up some good runs, and then went back out in the 21, and Drew's got his stuff rolling really good right now and has kind of built that program into being a national contender with the Tarleton group, and we're able to, almost click off 83 grand right there at Tulare. So, excuse me. Just, getting in cars that immediately I just felt comfortable in. Like they drove nice, they had grip, and I didn't have there was never really a time really that I felt uncomfortable. So I was able to just get in and drive, like I've always tried to drive, and just meshed well, and the cars were handling nice, and we had speed, and we're able to put together some really good finishes.
Was not feeling comfortable part of what went wrong this year on the High Limit Tour in the number 14 car? Take me through kind of that part of it and how difficult that was. And again, I'm not trying to boost Spencer's ego here or anything, but I know you're that talented of a race car driver, and you're a lot faster than the results showed.
Yeah, you see it happen every once in a while with teams. They'll go through a slump, or they'll have speed and then it'll just disappear. And it's like, what happened? Like, did they just forget how to set up a race car? Did the driver forget how to drive? It's like, no, it doesn't. It's not that simple. Like there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that watching the teams that are able to go out on a nightly basis, qualify, quickest in their flights, or fastest in their heat races, and do it on a nightly basis. It's impressive because it's so tough to be able to put a piece on the racetrack and a driver perform at that level every night. And ultimately, we just never, for whatever reason, were able to kind of put all that together for me. Obviously for Corey, they've been together for a long time, and Corey's comfortable in those situations and in those cars specifically with their package to go out and perform. And I just wasn't able to find it for whatever reason. And Noisy and I worked together, and we sat down in a lot of meetings with more than just Noisy and I, a lot of members on the team, Jason included, to figure out what do we need to do to have speed. And it just didn't really ever come together. And that's why we ended up splitting and going our separate ways.
And being a crew chief in sprint car racing is a super tough job. I always compare it to, I covered college football for the longest time, and I compare it to the coaching staffs, that you have to understand the kids you're coaching and how they react to different things, much like you guys do, and how you react to different ways you set up a car, and you kind of have to cater to it. But you guys get a few dates at the World Finals this year to get off to a start with Kyle Pruitt, and an accomplished crew chief at that, in a year where it doesn't seem like there's too many out there to pick from. Take me through kind of like just how much of an advantage can that be, and how excited are you to work with him?
It can be a big advantage. Any reps you can get before we hit it hard in Volusia, and don't stop until World Finals the next year. Any advantage you can get, any reps you can get before then is definitely beneficial. I'm super excited to work with Kyle. Just in the short time I've spent with him and talking with him, I think he's a really sharp guy with a great mindset and great attitude, and he really looks at racing in a very similar way that I do, and how to navigate the process, how to how a car needs to handle on a racetrack, how to have the relationships with your team members, your owners, and sponsors. So just super eager to get to the track with him and get working. And Richard and Ricky have built a very, very professional program, and having a sponsor like NOS Energy Drink on the title, title sponsor on the car, you got to be professional, and we have to go out and perform. I mean, they set a high standard with Sheldon and everything he's accomplished in these last handful of years. So any little advantage we can get, any little bit of experience we can get leading into the winter in preparation for next year, I think will be huge. So I'm super excited, giddy to think about the opportunity, and just kind of ready to get busy. It's been a little bit of kind of sitting, waiting for me right now, just obviously because there's not a lot I can do other than just go spend some time in the shop. So antsy for those next handful of days to click by so we can get into prepping for Charlotte and get down there and go run some laps.
And once you ended up securing the deal or that became official, what was the conversation like with Kyle? How quickly did you guys call each other, and I guess what'd you say to one another?
Yeah, I soon after talking with Ricky and Richard and kind of getting all of our stuff finalized, Kyle was obviously already in place, and so called him up, and first time I've ever actually talked to him was that phone call, and I think we talked for 45 minutes or an hour or better, just casual conversation, kind of getting to know each other, talking racing, just chopping it up a little bit, and got off that phone. I if I remember right, like kind of looking to Audrey, I'm like this can be good. Like, this guy's sharp. And I think I immediately texted Ricky and Richard. I'm like, great job. Like, he's great find. Just in a little bit, I've gotten to talk with him, and he's proven his ability these last few races with Sheldon. Obviously, going out and just clicking off a win the other night at Sun Prairie. So just, it's impressive for him to be able to get in that quick with cars he's not really ever worked on before, and kind of get up to speed right away. And he's a real professional. Just going to the shop, they're kind of going through everything. They're not just showing up and loading everything in a box and going to go play. Like, they're doing everything right, and that all starts from the top with great leadership. Richard, obviously a very intelligent individual, very successful. Ricky, likewise, extremely talented race car driver that's made his way to the big leagues and still wants to be involved. And so it's a great group of people, a lot of great support within the team with all the sponsors. And I think it's a good scenario. So I have high hopes, high expectations, just like everyone else on the team does. So hopefully we can look back here a year from now, have this same conversation and say, yeah, worked out just like we thought it would.
Hell yeah, I'm hoping it does. And this could be a stupid question too, but it's not guaranteed that you're going to be there for multiple years. But seeing Sheldon be with Ricky and Marshall for 8 years, and knowing that they're not going to pull the rug out from under you, and I'm not trying to say that Myers did that or anything like that, guys, but does that give you any extra form of confidence, as well as Kyle winning these races with Sheldon lately?
I mean, the confidence comes from good results. Obviously, it's a business. Everything in life, everything in the racing world, especially, is business. So I can't hate on any of my past employers for how anything else has gone in my career. It's ultimately just business. So they're expecting results, right? They invest a lot of time, effort, money into this program. It's got their name across it, and they have sponsors and obligations with other business people that expect the same results. So ultimately, yeah, it feels good that they've obviously invested a lot of time with Sheldon. But at the end of the day, if I'm not performing, you can't blame them for, making a change. That's to be expected. And I know that everyone's aware of that. So name of the game is, well, just go perform, make it happen. Like, do your due diligence, work hard. Don't slack off. Don't just go through the motions. Go hit it hard and drive like you know how to drive, and do the work behind the scenes that it takes to be successful. And that's what I'm prepared to do. And talking with Kyle, I know that's definitely what he's prepared to do. And that should put a smile on Ricky and Richard's face. And the ultimate smile will be when we can go out and have speed on a nightly basis next year and compete.
I love it. Are you ready for the tough questions?
Go for it.
First off, do you call it bags or cornhole? Where you're from Indiana, so in Iowa it's like religion. You can't call it cornhole; it's bags.
Yeah, well, I'm from Indiana, so it's cornhole.
It is cornhole there. How did you end up
cornhole.
playing it in your living room during a housewarming party?
How did you know about that?
I did my research.
Yeah,
I have some good sources.
I think it was we had like a birthday party, but it was before we had a bunch of furniture, so like it was just a wide open house. And yeah, it was raining. It was supposed to be an outdoor party. It was raining, so we decided, hell, let's just bring the cornhole boards inside and played some cornhole in there. My wife, girlfriend at the time, wasn't very happy about it. Things got a little dusty and dirty, and walls got a little scraped up, but it was a good time. But it's cornhole for us. People do. I have heard some people around here call it bags, but I've always been cornhole.
I probably wouldn't have cared if I wasn't like about punched in the face multiple times growing up, calling it cornhole. And they're like, no, you're from Iowa. You don't do that. Not here. And speaking of your wife and then girlfriend, you met her at the Belleville Midget Nationals after the race?
Yeah, 2017. Yeah, I was there. She was there with a couple friends and her cousin, Nathan, who Nathan's came around. He's been around the racing world the last handful of years with us a lot. He was always been a big racing fan. The girls were not racing fans, but I think they were persuaded to pick a driver, cheer him on. And fortunately, I was Audrey's driver and won the race. So then she was influenced to come down and talk and all that. So yeah, that kind of kindled our relationship, and here we are.
Would you call that the biggest one of your career?
Yes.
Good answer.
Yes.
I don't know if Walker wants me to tell you that that's where I got those from, but that's all him.
Gotcha.
I ask every driver that comes on here, what rule in sprint car racing would you change and why?
Ooh, man. Man, that's a tough one because I'm trying to think of a good one. I guess there's some.
It's really open, and then like guys kind of. I know what you're picking through your head of like which one's the most influential that I really care about that I want to say.
Yeah. No support classes.
Oh, I love it. Oh my, there's going to be some dirt fan that watches that hates me for saying that, but I love that. Thank you.
So I haven't always thought that because I've always been at the track, and like when you're at the track, you're busy. But unfortunately, I've sat on the couch and watched some races here the last handful of weeks, and have come to grow a little bit of resent for support classes. Just. I also understand the promoter side, and I understand how the events work, right? And I think the crews don't hate having support classes because if something goes wrong, heaven forbid, and you don't have a support class, it's like there's no time to fix anything, change a motor. So the race fan in me definitely would say like get rid of support classes.
Now you know how tough my job is, especially when you're flipping through like 4 of them, and you're like, God. How many of these do they have? And it's like no shade to those guys, and whatever race it is, they might put on a great show, and that's awesome. I love being pleasantly surprised, but it's like I don't know any of these guys, and I watch 30 series of dirt racing across the country. And now I'm trying to pick out like, oh, this guy looks good. Maybe, I don't know. There's street stocks. So who's to say?
Every once in a while you get surprised and it's like, it's a banger of a race. And it's like, wow, that was awesome. And then you're like, oh crap, I got to go back and get my car now. But yeah, I hear you.
You're an engineering guy. Did you major as an engineer? Do I remember that right?
No,
Or am I getting you mixed up with someone? I've watched you fix a lot of stuff. So
I think Macedo was an engineer. I think he went to school. I graduated high school in 3 years and graduated early and have been on the road ever since.
Way smarter than me. And I've watched you fix David Gravel's t-shirt trailer, so I know that for a fact. But kind of going into, there's buzz that the tire rule might change. What do you have any thoughts on what you want to see them do with the tires and where you want to see them go?
That's
I guess not the tire rule, but the compound.
Yeah, I would really like to have, tires it's, in my opinion, it's the biggest variable in what we do. Obviously, you can prepare a car, do all the right things, have all your, stuff squared right and set up just the way you need them to be. But ultimately, you're connecting them to the racetrack with the rubber. And tires aren't always, consistently or spot on to where you want them to be. So the idea that we all race on the same exact compound and everyone's supposed to have the same tire, has been kind of what I've always known. But in hearing, some of the older guys, the guys that have been a part of the sport for a long time, the days when you got to choose compounds and that all of a sudden becomes a big part of your setup of trying to be strategic, watching the racetrack, understanding, okay, where in the country are we and what type of dirt is it? How abrasive is it? Do we need to run a softer? Can we get away with a softer tire? Can we, take a chance and run it and make it, see if it'll last, or try to run a harder tire? Just to have that option, I think would be a great tool, a valuable asset to just kind of throw another variable into the night in relation to everyone else, and kind of see guys, take off early and then maybe start to fade. And the guys that were strategic, that were, riding around for the first 20, take off in the last 10, and kind of see that variation in speed, and to see those strategies play out. I've always thought that'd be a really cool concept to get back to having multiple compounds to choose from.
Yeah, and just from what I've heard of like the open tire days and the pros and cons of it, I haven't heard anyone ever say the multiple compounds. I think that'd be super interesting to see. So obviously we'll see what happens with Hoosier and all that. Question from Twitter from Nathan. He asked what your top 3 favorite racetracks are.
Top 3 favorite racetracks. I think what's Nathan Isaacson? Because that's probably Audrey's cousin, I bet.
It might be. I did not write down his username. Hold on.
That's funny. But to answer the question.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah. Faithful Nathan. Knoxville is probably, I would say Knoxville, Tulare, for maybe I'm biased right now just because I've been racing pretty well there, but it's always been a cool track to watch. And then once I got to race there, I'm like, yeah, the hype is real. It's a badass racetrack. And then probably Kokomo. Kokomo is still dearest to my heart. It's my local home track, I guess you would say, racing midgets there, sprint cars, always is put on just really, really good racing. And I would say Tulare and Knoxville, mainly because it's by far the most challenging racetrack. It can just punch you in the mouth and just, you can't figure it out and you can't figure out what's going on. And then the nights that you're good, it's like the most rewarding feeling, knowing that it's like, man, that place is so hard to tackle and be fast at. And then Tulare is just because it's just cowboy up. Like, I mean, you have to be on your A game there. It's very physical. I think it's a racer's racetrack, in my opinion. So kind of 3 different types of tracks and kind of how I explained it, but those would definitely be 3. I've got, like, I could go on, like, if we wanted to do top 5, I would probably have 12 other tracks that I would have to consider putting in the top 5. So those would be probably 3 of my favorite.
Next time we'll do a Mount Rushmore, and we'll do a draft or
go.
some shit like that. Last one. I guess you got a little Ward Burton in you or something. I'm not really sure what the context of the text was, but another time you caught a possum in your backyard. I try to do my best research, and I ask people that know people.
Some great research. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the country, so like, possum. I've never been a fan of possums, and we live around other houses now in a neighborhood, so not able to handle them is the same way we used to. But I came home to a possum like moping through our back patio, and I'll leave it at that.
How tough was it to catch? Catch humanely, I should say.
Yeah,
I feel like the other way is a lot easier.
It was a big group of us. I think we were coming back from dinner or something, so we all kind of ran and like surrounded it, and so it wasn't that hard.
Oh yeah! All right, Spencer. Thanks again for taking the time. I will see you down in Tulsa at Chili Bowl. So we'll see. You got one Race of Champions, right? A couple years ago.
A couple years ago, Race of Champions, and then we won a prelim night in there somewhere in the last couple of years too. So try to do that again.
That was the Sage Fruit Car, right?
Yeah, that's right. RMS. Yep.
Heck yeah. My memory's not great, but we got slivers of it sometimes. So thank you. Thanks again for coming on. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.